Every year, the village chief selects one of the girls as a frog girl. The frog woman only needs to hold a piece of wood to sleep every day to produce children like frog eggs. I have always been curious about how it can make people pregnant. Until that night, I leaned against the window to peep and found that what my sister was holding was not wood at all. That thing was simply absurd. "Let me out, my sister is soaking in the pool," shouting with all her heart. "Little sister, please let me out." She was chosen by the village chief as a frog girl, responsible for the reproduction task of the whole village, which is something that the village girls can only hope for but cannot obtain. But unfortunately her sister is unwilling. I put honey and pearl rice by the sink and said, "Sister, are you crazy? Everyone is fighting to be a frog girl. Why don't you want to be one?" Becoming a frog girl means you don't have to do heavy farm work in the fields, but instead soak in hot springs and eat honey every day. How many people envy this? My sister begged, "Little sister, can you become a frog girl for me? I want to go to the city and live there." I gave her a displeased look. "What's good about the city?" The village chief said there's garbage and pollution everywhere, especially city men, taking away girls' innocence and running away. Sister originally believed the village chief's words, but later she unexpectedly met a city man while doing laundry at the village entrance. The man tricked her into going to the city, and since then, her sister has been obsessed with the city and even refuses to come to the annual selection day for frog girls. If it weren't for my mother lying to her that she was sick, she wouldn't have returned to the village. "Little sister, please let me go," sister continued to beg me. "Little sister, I really don't want to be like an animal in the pool every day. I only feel that my older sister is foolish. If it weren't for my mother watching me closely, I would really want to replace her and become a frog girl." Becoming a frog girl can earn the respect and worship of the whole village. But the older sister is only a backup frog girl. There are a total of 3 alternative frog women who will soak in warm water for 3 days and 3 nights, except for necessary food, drink, and excretion. The alternative frog women cannot go ashore. 3 days later, the village chief sent the village veterinarian and experienced midwife. "I don't quite understand. My sister hasn't laid eggs or become pregnant yet, so why did the midwife come?" And a large group of people crowded into my backyard. The village chief had a gloomy face and called the veterinarian to fish his sister out of the hot spring pool. Sister is like a fish, wet all over, but it has to be said that she is beautiful. After soaking for 3 days and 3 nights, her skin not only did not swell or turn white. The veterinarian opened her sister's mouth, stretched her neck, and looked hard to see if her mouth was clean and tidy. My sister screamed wildly, "Let me go." I looked up and saw the midwife calling for someone to lift her up. Below is the ashes of the just burned firewood. This step is called identifying the identity. Only the cleanest and purest girls are qualified to give birth to offspring in the village. Mom said there was a girl who was touched by a man before, but wanted to become a frog girl, deceiving the village chief that she was a clean girl. In the process of verifying her identity, dust splattered everywhere. The village chief was very angry and ordered someone to lock the girl in a cage and throw her into the water. The midwife put pollen on her sister's nose, and she sneezed. I couldn't help but gloat a little. My sister followed the man to the city, and she must not be perfect, but I never expected that the dust under her feet didn't splash out at all. My mom obviously breathed a sigh of relief, with a rosy expression on her face. Your sister becoming a frog girl must be stable. Now the villagers dare not laugh at us. I should also be happy, but for some reason, I inexplicably feel jealous. My older sister has gone out too, but why is she still perfect? It must be because city men don't like her. My older sister screamed, "Ten, let go of me. I am human and have my own thoughts. You cannot treat me like this." The thought of my sister not having to do any work in the future and still being able to enjoy delicious food and drink spicy food really made me jealous and twisted. She hadn't finished speaking when the village chief slapped her hard in the face and shut up. "If it weren't for you being a backup frog girl, I would have killed you just because you left the village without permission." My older sister was slapped, looking both embarrassed and somewhat pitiful. The midwife had her sister pressed to the ground and checked carefully. After a check, the midwife nodded and said, "Daniu is very suitable, with a round waist and abdomen, very suitable to become the frog girl in our village." The village chief nodded, and everyone clapped and cheered. My mother couldn't help but be so happy that tears almost fell. "You finally opened your eyes, and now I see who dares to look down on me." One person in the Wong family became a frog girl, and the whole family could ascend to heaven. My mother no longer needs to work. She just needs to focus on taking care of her sister. Everyone was happy. Only my sister lay quietly by the pool, her pale face full of crystal tears. There are still to back up frog women who have not been checked. I followed the village chief and a group of people to the Widow Lee's house next door. Widow Lee has 2 daughters. The eldest daughter, Wong Jyoti, eloped with someone and was dealt with by the village chief. The second daughter, Wong Lady, is beautiful and has become a backup frog girl. I followed into the backyard, and Wong Lady looked very happy. She swam happily in the pool like a real frog. The village chief gave a thumbs up and praised her. Look at her cheerful appearance. I think she is also a good seedling to become a frog girl. My mother's face darkened, and I couldn't help but laugh. I really looked forward to my sister being surpassed by Wong Lady. I cannot become a frog girl, and my older sister is not qualified to become a frog girl. During the identification process, Wong Lady sneezed, and the dust under him flew around. The village chief was furious, and he was not serious. His rough big hand tightly grabbed Wong Lady's head and pressed her into the pool. Soon Wong Lady was drowned, and a smile appeared on my mother's face. I frowned. Wong Lady is my friend. She is gentle and shy and has always been kept at home without even meeting a man. How could she not be perfect? I suddenly thought that the incense ash in the basin was prepared by my mother. Could it be that my mother tampered with the incense ash? I immediately ran to my own yard, where the fragrant ash of the sister's identity was still there. I immediately stood up and sneezed hard. Sure enough, the ash remains motionless, but I am very clear that I have been with my lover Dak Yangzi for a long time. I squatted down, picked up the incense ash with a stick, and saw clumps of dust under the thin layer of dust that had been poured with water. With the addition of water, the dust naturally couldn't splash. My mother did indeed tamper with the dust, and soon the village chief and others came over. The village chief is very unhappy. Out of the 3 candidates in the village, 2 of them are not female. Can't help it. Wandy, my mother quickly said, those 2 people are not serious. Unlike my daughter, who's clean and avoids men. The village chief patted my mother's shoulder, and I officially named her. From now on, your daughter Daniu is the frog girl of our village. Immediately after, the village chief took out a piece of rubber wood from a red brocade box. The wood was black, about the thickness of a fist, and about 30 to 40 centimeters long. I couldn't help but tremble. This is our village treasure called Duozimu. The frog women selected every year can produce transparent human eggs as long as they sleep with this multi-seed tree in the pool. The egg will grow bigger and become a fetus after being soaked in the pool for 10 months. Thank you, village chief. My mother was extremely excited and knelt down to take this multi-seed tree. I stared straight at the wood, lost in thought. I really couldn't imagine how happy I would be if I were a frog girl holding this multi-child wood. According to the village rules, if a family has a daughter who becomes a frog girl, the whole family can take care of the frog girl without working. But not anymore. This year's floods have required the whole village to work and plant crops. Otherwise, there will be no food in winter. My mother has always been lazy, so she naturally gave her the good work of taking care of my older sister. I followed the villagers to dig soil and dredge the river, and came back after a busy day. My hands were full of blisters, while my sister was comfortably soaking in the pool. I gritted my teeth and was about to go crazy. There is a frog girl at home, but I didn't get any advantage. I couldn't help but yell at my mom. Mom, you moved your hands and feet. Sister is not perfect. I don't care. I want to be this frog girl. Being a frog girl is really comfortable. Soaking in warm water every day, I'm jealous. Are you still a frog girl? Are you worthy? My mother swallowed honey, grabbed my hair, and smashed it hard against the wall. Don't think I don't know. You run to Doc Yongzi every day. I know it very well in my heart. My mom won't let me do this good thing of being a frog girl. A malicious thought flashed through my mind. Late at night, I got up from bed and went straight to the backyard pool. I couldn't let my sister live. My sister and I are twins and look almost the same. So as long as she disappears, I can replace her as a frog girl and enjoy her happiness. The sound of my sister shouting came from the courtyard, and I was very disdainful. My sister is not perfect. Otherwise, why would she make such a sound? In the backyard pool, the sister's half-bent body rose and fell, accompanied by a scream. My older sister tilted her body slightly, and I noticed that it wasn't wood under her. It was clearly wood. I widened my eyes. I have never seen such an exciting scene in my life.